Okay, welcome back everyone to Collegedunia Study Abroad. We have another interesting student who is right now here in India with us. Her name is Sanya. Of course, she is studying from the UK. I will not tell her university name. I will not tell you guys the program. I would want कि वही अपना introduction दे. Hi Sanya. Our viewers, do you want to introduce yourself to your viewers today?
Sure. So I'm Sanya. I'm from Delhi and I've completed my studies until my graduation from here, and then I went from my masters to the UK and I have recently completed my postgrad from the University of Sussex, and I pursued my masters in occupational psychology. Yeah.
Okay. So you were saying that you have recently completed your postgrad.
Yeah.
Now it was a 1-year course?
Yes.
Okay.
Masters in the UK is for 1 year.
So 1 year living in UK, how was your experience? To sum up everything, this whole 1 year, how has it been for you?
I think overall it was pretty great because you have a lot of new experiences, you learn a lot, you meet people from various backgrounds, from different countries, you learn about different cultures, and it's really good to socialize, to network with people, as well as learn a lot about yourself. So it's a journey of self-reflection as well, I would say.
Okay, interesting answer. So today's conversation, I want to take it a little deep while picking your brain. So of course you told me कि you can learn a lot of things about yourself. You get to socialize, you get to network as well. ये सब तो इंडिया में भी होता है. तुम्हें ऐसा क्या मिला बाहर यूके जाके जो मे बी इंडिया में वो एक्सपोजर नहीं मिलता?
I think first of all the major difference was in the education pattern itself. कि वो किस तरह से पढ़ाते हैं, because like till my undergrad I was taught how to just read something, learn it, replicate it into yourself and then write it in the paper. तो हमें बहुत theoretical knowledge दी गई थी जो कि अच्छी है for the field, because you learn a lot, you learn about the history, you learn about the prevalence and everything.
Right.
But outside I felt they were more focused on what's new in everything. Like there's a theory, ठीक है, we've read it, इसका ये pro है, ये con है. But what more can you add? There's that critical component that is very necessary and very new about, especially studying in the UK.
Achha.
And also the type of pattern they have following for the, teaching. Because we had 3 hours lectures and we would...
3 घंटे का एक lecture?
Yeah, there were workshops.
Boring नहीं हो जाता?
नहीं, exactly, that's the point. यहाँ पे 1 घंटा मुझे ऐसा होता था कि नहीं, let's just finish it over. But वहाँ पे ऐसा है कि 3 hours में 1 hour would be teaching part. कि they will tell you कि ऐसे ये चीज़ है, ये बनाया है, that everything. And the second half would be an activity. कि उसी theory पे, उसी चीज़ पे एक activity होगी. And the last part, the final part, the third hour would be discussing the activity. कि क्या तुमने सीखा, कैसे you can apply that theory to your activity. तो बहुत ज़्यादा practical तरीके से पढ़ाया गया. Not just the theory, but everything, the activity, the discussion, and उसमें your communication skills improve. You can pitch your ideas. तो वो बहुत new था मेरे लिए और बहुत interesting था.
Interestingly enough, I think चलो यूनिवर्सिटी का कल्चर तो अलग हो गया. Indian education is very different if you compare it to the foreign education.
Yeah.
But why did you choose UK? UK के अलावा और बहुत अच्छी countries हैं. I'm not coming to your university अभी.
Yeah.
But UK ही क्यों? Why not Canada? Why not Australia for that matter, or US for that matter?
Okay, so initially I started planning for UK, Canada or US, but for Canada and US, what was prevalent that time was that कि काफ़ी सारी universities में you required 4 years of bachelor's, and I just had 3 years of bachelor's. So either you have 4 years of bachelor's or 3 years of bachelor's plus 1 year of work experience. तो मेरे पास दोनों नहीं था. So that is why, I mean, And plus for my course particularly, the options in Canada were far less than I had the options in UK. So in Canada there were like 5 to 6 universities that were offering the course, but in UK the same course was offered by 20 universities, over 20 universities. So it was like universities ज़्यादा है, course बहुत prevalent है, तो scope probably ज़्यादा होगा UK में. That is why I went for the UK.
Okay, so when you say scope बहुत ज़्यादा होगा for your own particular program,
yeah,
how is the job market कैसी है वहाँ पे? And right now तुम्हारा कोर्स भी खत्म हो चुका है. How are you looking out for jobs, for full-time jobs, and how difficult it is?
I think scope है because when you go on LinkedIn, you'll find a lot of people with the same degree. And if you do the same for India, I mean, the word organizational psychology particularly would not be that much used. But वहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा लोग हैं जो occupational psychologist हैं, and they know what the field is about. So yeah, prevalence बहुत ज़्यादा है, and job, like in terms of job, I think there are different areas that you can choose from. You can go into research, you can go into recruitment, you can go into well-being. So you have a lot of industries that you can target. So I think it's pretty great, but it really depends on your particular interest and how much you do yourself, you know, to explore the fields and to participate in various things.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, ठीक है. Now I want to touch upon your university. University of Sussex is a part of Russell Group universities. What is the difference when you talk about Russell Group universities and then you talk about other universities that are out there in UK?
Honestly, when I started applying, I did not care about the ranking at all, because if I did, I would have gone to Leeds. I got an offer letter from Leeds and Manchester as well. But I was focused on the course structure, and I liked Sussex course structure the best.
Extending my question now, while you were thinking about studying abroad, while you were trying to research, क्या-क्या parameters तुम्हारे लिए सबसे important थे?
So first of all, I think the course structure was my main priority. Uske baad whether the course was BPS accredited or not. And lastly the course, like the course fees and the scholarship options that I had in the university. So ये 3-4 categories थी जो मैं particularly focus कर रही थी इन चीज़ों में. But course structure मुझे ये था कि like whatever I study, I should be interested in studying that. मैं कुछ ऐसा नहीं ले लेना चाहती थी कि मैं जाके फिर regret करूँ कि यार ये मुझे पढ़ना नहीं था. Because I remember I was researching the course for LSE as well. LSE में भी course था, but it was more focused on social psychology component. And I did not want to incline towards that area. So even for the same course, you will find different universities have different kind of, you know, structure. जैसे King's College London वो बहुत mental health and psychiatry पे focus करता है same course के लिए. तो ये भी बहुत depend करता है कि आपको interesting क्या subjects लग रहे हैं.
अच्छा, okay. कितने पैसे खर्च हो गए एक साल के कोर्स में?
Around 30 lakhs, I would say.
30 lakhs. 30 लाख रुपए खर्च हो गए सिर्फ एक साल का कोर्स करना.
And that too when I got 2 scholarships.
Oh, interesting. You have got 2 scholarships. उसके बाद तुम्हारा 30 लाख खर्च हुए. Let's say if तुम्हें scholarship नहीं मिलती तो कितना फंड खर्चा होता?
That would be around
36 lakhs. Okay. You burned 36 lakh rupees on your tuition.
No, including the accommodation, visa and the living expenses, everything.
चलो मोटा 40 लाख रुपए तुमने एक साल के लिए खर्च करा.
ठीक है.
अभी is 1 year enough for you and your program, and is 1 year enough for you to be in UK and then you know you get thrown out कि चलो अब जाओ job ढूंढो?
No, that's a very good question, because throughout the course this was our complaint कि it's not enough. 1 year is not enough. क्योंकि there are just 2 semesters for 3 months each. So you have a semester from September to December, then you get your break for 2 months, and then you have the intake from February to April. So 6 months in total, and then you have your dissertation for 4 to 5 months. So पढ़ाई सिर्फ 6 महीने की है, and you feel like you know the amount of money you invest उसके हिसाब से it's less, because at least 1 year should be you know the studying part only. But yeah, so this was the major complaint of many students that जितना invest हमने किया उसके हिसाब से the course should have been a little longer or maybe you know more fruitful.
तो 40 लाख रुपए जो खर्चे करे, I will come back to dissertation that you talked about, but 40 लाख रुपए जो खर्चे कर दिए यूनिवर्सिटी के ऊपर, उतनी वैल्यू मिली by the end of the first year या कुछ कमी लगी?
It really depends on the person. क्योंकि maybe I'm spending 40 lakhs, but I am doing something there which is making a difference, then it's worth it. But if someone is there and not doing anything, just their studies, it might be not that, you know, worth, because आप यहाँ पे अपनी फैमिली के पास हो, आपके पास सारा कंफर्ट है, एवरीथिंग है, एंड इफ यू आर गोइंग देयर, आई थिंक यू शुड बी वेरी अपडेटेड, यू शुड बी वेरी अवेयर ऑफ व्हाट्स गोइंग अराउंड, यू शुड पार्टिसिपेट, यू शुड टॉक टू पीपल, यू शुड, यू नो, सोशलाइज, एंड बहुत सारी वहाँ चीज़ें रोज़ रेगुलर बेसिस पे होती है. लाइक इवन इन माई यूनिवर्सिटी every day there was something going on, कोई event, कोई कुछ, and there's so much to get into. You can participate in the societies, and उसके अलावा भी बहुत इवेंट्स होते हैं, अवार्ड्स होते हैं, बहुत सारी चीजें. तो
ठीक है, मुझे एकदम सम अप करके बताओ फिर, was 40 lakhs का वैल्यू तुम्हें मिला, 40 लाख का वैल्यू तुम्हें मिला कि नहीं मिला, for your own self? Let's not think about the world right now.
I would say कि वो 40 lakhs का worth था, but I'm gonna make it count in the coming years when I get the experience as well.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think that is the most appropriate answer. जो other international students भी देख सकते हैं, सुन सकते हैं उसके बारे में. You know, it is important for you guys to think about. You don't just have to go and study abroad. You have to do other things as well. Remember, you're trying to set up your whole life from scratch, from zero.
You're sacrificing so much.
Yes. How was the experience of setting up your whole life from zero?
It was very new.
India में तो सब कुछ है तुम्हारे पास.
India में सब कुछ था, and I
घर पे
went
मेड आ रही है, गाड़ी खराब हो गई है तो कोई भी आ जाएगा सही करने. What about you, kid?
So I went away from home for the first time. And I took in university accommodation, so it was a little easier for me.
Life में first time.
First time.
That is a commendable thing. The first experience that this girl wants to have, wanted to have. चलो UK चलते हैं. हो गया, घर बहुत हो गया. Okay.
तो हाँ, like when I went, I luckily met a lot of good people. तो मेरी company अच्छी थी. Like where I was living, the accommodation people, they were really nice, supportive, and even my faculty, I got friends in the class as well. So if you don't have friends there, it can be really lonely, because I met people who were like totally depressed. They were like, we don't want to get out, we don't want to do anything, we don't have good flatmates, I don't feel like cooking, they don't eat. So a lot of, you know, challenges they faced initially when they went. So it's really easier for people who can talk, who can, you know, socialize. I mean, I would not say that introverts cannot have fun there, but it's a little more about, you know, coming out of your shell a bit and trying to socialize with people.
Were there any cases जहाँ पे लोग बस पहुँचे हैं अभी UK, and then they decided कि नहीं, हमसे नहीं हो पा रही abroad की life and we want to go back?
You know, I was in the student center, like Sussex में एक student center है जो basically students के लिए एक spot है, and you can also have your questions answered to there. So I was just sitting there, and there was this girl, she was sitting, and I don't know, she just saw that I'm also an Indian, she was an Indian, and she started talking कि how are you finding it and everything, and she told me कि मुझसे तो नहीं हो रहा है, मेरे फ्लैटमेट्स बिल्कुल अच्छे नहीं हैं, एंड मुझे घर की बहुत याद आती है, एंड आई फील डिप्रेस्ड एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड आई गिव हर माय नंबर, यू कैन टॉक टू मी, यू कैन कम टू माय अकोमोडेशन. सो दैट इज हाउ यू ट्राई टू हेल्प पीपल जो वहाँ पे हैं, जो जिनसे नहीं हो पा रहा है. बट देयर आई सॉ हर कि वो कितनी डिप्रेस, एंड आई हैड अ कम्प्लीटली डिफरेंट लाइफ देयर. So yeah, I wanted to mention this in the beginning, that whatever I'm gonna share, it will be totally based on my personal experience.
Right.
That cannot be generalized to anybody. क्योंकि सबके अपने अपने experiences होते हैं. तो मेरे लिए वो चीज़ बहुत अच्छी थी जब मैं गई, क्योंकि मुझे अच्छे लोग मिले, अच्छा घर था, अच्छी पढ़ाई थी, टीचर्स अच्छे थे. तो I was, और मैं particularly बहुत चीज़ों में involve कर रही थी खुद को. It was good for me.
So you were an extrovert, right?
Yeah.
Would you call yourself
selectively social kind of person?
An ambivert.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. But ठीक है, these challenges of homesickness, of handling your own chores, right? इन सब से deal कैसे करना है यार international students को? अभी I'm very sure बहुत सारे viewers हमारे ऐसे हैं जो who are, you know, planning or maybe 2024 के intakes में जाने वाले हैं.
Yeah.
How should they deal?
I would say try to be with people जो तुम्हारे साथ वो same struggle कर रहे हैं. because you know दो लोग साथ में figure out कर सकते हैं चीजें. If I'm alone in my room, it will be difficult for me to do something. But luckily मेरी accommodation में एक और Indian थी, तो हम दोनों साथ में cook करते थे. For like 8 to 9 months we bought the groceries together. Just because कोई साथ था, that was like बहुत comforting. Like even there were forms when you had to fill out your emergency contact. So I could fill out her name. So ये बहुत important है कि have some people at least जिनसे जो तुम्हारे साथ ही हैं उस चीज में, you know, because they're not alone there. There are a lot of students जिनके same struggles है. If you are with them, वो चीज figure out हो जाएगी and वो धीरे धीरे family वाली feel आ जाएगी.
And I also think कि Indians बाहर जाके थोड़ा ज़्यादा helpful हो जाते हैं. Usually अपने देश में हम इतने helpful हैं नहीं, but बाहर अगर आप Indian से मिल रहे हो तो they are polite, they are helpful, they might want to listen to you. Is that true or not?
I mean, students to students would be helpful क्योंकि हमें पता है एक दूसरे struggle. I would not say कि people, particularly Indians, would be very helpful to you.
क्यों अगर कोई elder किसी student को कोई problem में देख रहा है, मतलब लोग थोड़े से rude हैं क्या वहाँ पे? हाव भाव बढ़ जाते हैं Indians के बाहर जाके? जो
लोग वहीं के हैं, they might not be very open to, you know, communicating with you एकदम से. I mean, people are really helpful. ऐसा नहीं कि लोग बुरे हैं और हर तरह के लोग हर जगह होते हैं. Like even here, you will not find everybody who's helpful, right?
Yes.
So you will find every kind of people there. But yeah, I mean, मुझे तो अच्छे लोग मिले थे.
चलो ठीक है, touch wood, बढ़िया. Now, because expenses and earnings are the two most important things for any international students.
Yeah.
I want to ask, तुमने जब part time jobs करना start करा था, what was your first part time job पहले तो?
I did my first part time job at Domino's in December.
Okay. And how did you find it? How difficult was it for you to find your first part time job? Or was it an easy process?
So when I went initially, I thought कि नहीं part time क्यों करूँगी, मैं internship करूँगी जैसा हर student सोचता है. But for 3 months I did not do any part time क्योंकि I was doing some work in the university as well और मैं अपनी पढ़ाई पे थोड़ा focus कर रही थी. But December पे because वहाँ पे holidays थे and there was nothing much to do, so I thought why not do the part time and you know manage your own expenses. So I did the one at Domino's and I would say my experience was not very great at that place particularly. Okay. I mean, it was good initially because I had that same friend, you know, she was struggling.
Achha,
I met her at Domino's as well, and our friendship kind of grew.
What's
from
her
there.
name? You give her a shout out, no?
So her name is Vaishnavi.
Okay, I hope Vaishnavi is seeing this video.
She's a really good friend.
Okay.
And तो हम लोग साथ में जाते थे university से, तो because of her it was bearable. Okay. Otherwise, I wouldn't have worked there for a long time, and even then I worked only for a month, of where I left.
Achha, you only worked there for a month.
For a month.
Achha.
Yeah, so उसके बाद I did part-time jobs in the university.
How much was Domino's giving you for your part-time job?
It was around 10 pounds for 1 hour, like minimum wage.
अच्छा, okay.
And it also depends on your age. जैसे मेरी 22 पे थी, तो मेरी wage कम थी minimum. 23 पे थोड़ी ज़्यादा होगी. And for the elder people also, it's more. Like with age, it increases the minimum wage. And particularly for some jobs, for example, आर्किटेक्ट की जो लाइक कंस्ट्रक्शन की जो जॉब्स होती है उनका पे पर्टिकुलरली हायर होता है देन लाइक फूड सर्विस जॉब्स.
अच्छा, ओके.
तो ऐसा भी है.
ओके, सो आई हैव वन क्वेश्चन नाउ. Let's say if I ask you to tell me 2-3 jobs that will pay you higher than your average wage that is out there.
Okay.
For an international student, do you have any idea regarding that?
First would be university jobs. Universities tend to pay higher.
TA and RA positions?
What?
Teaching assistantship and research assistantship.
There are a lot of other jobs as well. Like there are stores, like part-time stores in the university as well. तो हर तरह की part-time job, चाहे वो कोई भी हो, और बहुत तरह की होती है कि कोई particular नहीं है. तो they pay higher than what you get outside. And उसके अलावा the construction jobs pay higher.
Okay.
And
did you not go for any construction job?
No, I did not feel that I was built for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. What was your second part-time job? And all in all, कितने total तुमने part-time jobs करे हैं अभी तक?
So all in all, I did 5 part-time jobs. जिसमें से 3 university में थे and 2 were outside the university.
University में कौन-कौन से jobs थे?
First of all, I did like a job as a house showing ambassador. So वहाँ पे tours होते हैं.
House showing ambassador.
House showing ambassador.
Okay.
और show housing ambassador.
Okay.
तो there are a lot of student ambassadors वहाँ पे, जैसे जो भी international students आ रहे हैं या कुछ भी students बाहर मतलब स्कूल के बच्चे आ रहे हैं, तो उन्हें गाइड करने के लिए यूनिवर्सिटी में क्या है कैसे they help them.
Okay.
तो show housing में what I had to do was whenever visitors would come, parents, students, teachers, I had to show my room as well as my house to them.
Acha.
And I had to take
I
the
hope
permission.
you were keeping your room and
I was very
house.
tidy. Whoever
Okay.
came, they were so impressed with my room. They're like, very nice.
This is a note for all the boys who are, you know, thinking about studying abroad. थोड़ा सा साफ सुथरे से रहा करो यार. Just be now. Start living like men if you're going abroad.
I've seen men who keep their place very clean, but
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
also seen boys who just mess it all up.
Interestingly enough, how you use the word men and boys. Okay, cool.
You see, psychology.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So your program was psychology,
Yeah.
and I have to ask about something about your mind.
Okay.
ये एक साल के पीरियड में मेंटल हेल्थ मेसअप हुई, ब्रेकडाउन्स हुए, and how did you handle it?
Definitely. I think there are moments when you feel so emotionally, mentally vulnerable, because although there are friends, you will always find people to socialize with. You cannot completely or blindly trust anybody there, because everybody is in a race. Everyone is trying to reach somewhere, trying to have their careers figured out. And of course, if they have the opportunity to go beyond you, they will not think twice to like not leave you there, right? And even like, for example, for me, there were people from different cultures within my household. So things, how they used to operate in my household would be very different from how they used to operate in their household.
Yeah.
तो वो बहुत डिफरेंस था, और वो कल्चरल डिफरेंस के वजह से ही हमारे काफ़ी कन्फ्लिक्ट्स हुए थे. Because mine particularly was more on the emotional side, because I felt they were family, so I was very emotionally connected to them. And what I received in turn was that we are friends, we are close, but there's also the business component.
Yeah.
So I felt I was very naive when I went, but I learned with my time and experiences how to talk with people, how to not let your emotions come in the way always. But वो mental health बीच में होता है, you face issues, and fortunately universities there do a lot in terms of well-being and mental health. So I talked to someone, she was just a listener, but even talking to someone might help sometimes, and not your friend but someone who doesn't know anything. So you can always reach out for mental health services there. You can talk to your teachers, they can provide you with resources where you can find help. And Sussex में we had this like internet thing कि उसमें आप जाके एक अपॉइंटमेंट बुक कर सकते हो एक एडवाइजर के साथ about anything. About rent, about job, about your mental health, about a teacher, about an assignment, anything. They will guide you कि तुम्हें क्या क्या करना है या फिर कहाँ से help मिल जाएगी. They will always, there's always that like option to have that appointment. Okay.
So is this only specific to University of Sussex या और भी universities ऐसी service provide करती हैं?
I'm not sure about other universities, but Sussex का तो ये था कि they were all academic advisors. And they used to like they still do. Even now I can book, like I'm a pass out, but I still can book an appointment with them if I'm facing some issue, like in terms of my jobs and everything.
Okay. You know how social media has influenced our whole life, and there is a notion कि people who are going abroad वो सिर्फ मजे करने जा रहे हैं और वो वहाँ फन कर रहे हैं, उनकी लाइफ बहुत ही enjoyable हो चुकी है. Parties and celebrations and so on and so forth. How true is this notion, firstly? And how easy can you go towards the way of partying on all weekends and spending your money, and how to deal with that as well?
So when you go there, of course, there's a lot of freedom. You have nobody to, answer to. And even the universities doesn't keep a track of which student is where are they going. You are free. You're free to go anywhere, even in the middle of the night. So I think there are 50-50 chances of you going towards the partying and drinking side, and 50 chance of like being responsible and no, I have to do something here. I have come here, मैंने बहुत invest किया है, I have to earn something here. So there are two mindsets. And even if you merge those two, sometimes it's fine. Like sometimes I party, but I have to balance it with my work as well. Course. But yeah,
are you a party person?
No, I'm not. I thought I was when I went, but I was so comfortable with my housemates that always I used to party with them.
See, this is the thing with ambiverts, because we are so selective about with whom to hang out and where to hang out. तो हमें लगता है कि हम party person हैं, but then we end up just hanging out with the
special people,
closely knit folks. Okay, but तुम्हारे लिए did any day it happen कि you saw yourself going towards drinking a lot, or you saw yourself going towards maybe smoking or smoking up?
No, I
Or
don't
do
think
you
so.
did you had any friends around you जिनके साथ ऐसा कुछ केस हो गया, distract हो गए थोड़े से अपने जर्नी में?
That was the good part कि जो लोग मेरे साथ थे they were very focused themselves. तो we used to party कि हमने खाना बनाया है, हम drink भी कर रहे हैं, we were having fun and we did go for clubbing और ये सब, but we knew we were safe with those people. And secondly वो option था, but वो खुद में इतने वो थे academically भी कि भाई नहीं हमें पढ़ना है, हमारे assignments है. But I've seen people who've taken a completely different path. They're just gone there. They party, they submit all their assignments, everything just before the deadline, and they don't do any work because they say we want to, focus on our studies right now, but they don't do that as well. So there are higher chances of you doing that as well. But it really depends on you as a person, your core values, and how much what you want to do. You will surround with people, yourself with people who are alike.
Yes. Interesting, very interesting answers. So now let's come back to academics now. I want to talk about your dissertation. तुम्हारा dissertation किस topic पे था? And how did it go? How did you approach it? What all happened?
So it was my first research paper.
Okay.
And मेरे लिए तो बहुत ही
इससे पहले कोई भी research paper नहीं करा था?
नहीं, because due it was not a requirement for us, so I did not do one.
Okay.
Because I could also not do one because of the COVID thing. And so it was my first research paper when I went there. And it was a completely different journey from academics. So initially you're always allocated with a supervisor. So you have someone who can guide you, जो तुम्हें बताते हैं क्या करना है, कैसे करना है. My topic was on workplace spirituality and emotional well-being.
Okay.
So it was a different topic for me, and I was interested in exploring that side, particularly in the UK. Because we have this perception that we talk about spirituality and religion more in the eastern side and not less in the western context. So I wanted to explore that western context for spirituality in the workplace. And it was really interesting. I read a lot and I came across a lot of theories that are developed in the west. You would think that there would be more researches in the east, but it was completely opposite. There were more theories, more researches in the West as compared to the East.
तो तुम्हारा पूरा research paper तुमने secondary research के basis पे ही करा?
No, it was primary.
Research involved थी?
I did primary research only because I had to I developed my survey and then I had to ask participants to fill out the surveys. तो मेरा primary था. It was primary.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Interesting. कितने टाइम लगा पूरा dissertation research paper लिखने में?
So they give you around 4 to 5 months just for dissertation. I started in May.
Okay.
May, June, July, August, September. So 5 months for your dissertation. It's 45 credits. So like it's a lot of credits for just one particular subject. So in comparison to other subjects, other modules, your dissertation is more valuable. So you should be very responsible and be very
vigilant towards your dissertation.
Right.
Okay. 45 credits का तुम्हारा dissertation हो गया. What about the rest of the credits? Total credits, how much?
Total I guess were 180.
180, okay.
Yeah, and
जिसमें से 45 तो निकल गए dissertation के लिए.
Yes, and the 9 other modules were included in the rest.
अच्छा, okay. What was those other modules तुम्हारे program में?
I had leadership, assessment and recruitment, and workplace well-being, and learning development, coaching, research methods. So I had research methods in both the semesters. First research methods and then advanced research methods. Research वहाँ का बहुत prevalent area है. So if you want to research, if you're a researcher, you should go outside. It's really good.
Okay.
Or these are the ones that are at the top of my head right now.
Okay. University of Sussex के popular programs कौन से हैं? Is psychology one of them or not?
Yes. Clinical psychology, I guess, particularly would be a very good course at Sussex. Apart from that, I've seen people from HRM, finance के बहुत सारे students थे वहाँ पे. So fintech was a course, financial plus technology.
Right.
So there were a lot of interesting courses at Sussex.
Okay, all right. So now all these students जो बाहर जा रहा है, I'm sure तुम बहुत अपने seniors से भी मिली होगी, कुछ maybe juniors से भी मिली होगी. How is life for them? उनको jobs वगैरह मिली तुम्हारे seniors को? कितना time लगा?
You won't believe कि हमारे guest lectures आते थे कभी भी, guest lecturers, and उसमें काफी सारे Indians होते थे. And we used to feel so proud, like the people from there, my teachers, they used to call people from India, like someone is working in Mumbai, and they used to take their time out just to give that lecture to us. तो बहुत अच्छा था कि like people who go from there do really well if they want to do well, you know. तो बहुत proud भी लगता है, बहुत अच्छा भी लगता है that you know someone from our community, our country is coming there to present a lecture. So yeah.
What are you aiming at now? What kind of job are you aiming at, and monetary terms mein how much paisa are you aiming at?
So I'm currently looking for a job in organizational psychology. So you can go in recruitment, and as well as in the well-being. I was particularly interested in the well-being sector of employees, and right now I also do this education consultancy thing on my LinkedIn, just very small. So I like that. I like to help students. I like to, you know, see where this passion grows to, like the education thing, global education thing. So, but for the UK, I would say I'm seeking jobs in the business psychology area right now. And the minimum package would be from, I guess, 23 to 25,000 pounds. Which is 25 lakhs according to Indian rupees. But it's like 25 lakhs तो लगता है, but उसमें से काफी सारा tax में चला जाता है, and a lot of amount goes to your rent and everything. So you.
तो सान्या 25-30 लाख की जॉब तो तुम्हें इंडिया में भी मिलती if तुम एक अच्छे यूनिवर्सिटी से पास आउट होती. Now, how will you calculate your ROI in terms of मतलब अभी how are you gonna do that? ये तो तुम्हें इंडिया में भी मिलता. Why did you then go abroad? Coming back to the original question.
You learn a lot of, like, you earn a lot of international connections. You will meet people from different countries. So if I go to Turkey, I know I have a friend there. If I go to, let's say, Europe, you know I have a friend in Germany or somewhere else. तो वो बहुत अच्छा है कि it's not confided to just India. बहुत सारी countries के लोगों से आप मिल रहे हो, बहुत अलग level पे you are communicating with people. So yeah, that's a perk of going outside.
Good, very nice. So now I was talking to this one international student, and he told me that in order to get his first job, he had to go over around 290 to 300 applications, and which most of them were rejected through companies because of course there's a lot of things. कोई visa नहीं देना चाहता आपको, work visa, किसी के लिए आप fit नहीं होते हो, and there is a general notion for international students which is कि home country अपने home citizens को preference देगी. Is this the problem that you are also facing, or people around you are also facing?
Yes, I do. Because जब मैं गई थी, nobody told me that there would be issue in sponsoring visa after 2 years. That was not mentioned anywhere. No university mentioned that. No agent tells you that. This is something that you will only know when you go there. So now when I apply, a lot of rejections you face is just because of your visa sponsorship. They will ask you whether you would need a visa after 2 years, and I'm like, yeah, after 2 years I would. But for the 2 years I don't. आप तो यही बोलो कि 2 साल के लिए तो मुझे नहीं चाहिए वीजा, तो like I can work, I can learn, I can grow, and maybe you can sponsor me after that. But they just back off because there's a particular amount they have to pay.
Acha, okay.
Yeah, for the sponsorship. I think it was around 200 to 300 pounds. I'm not really sure about the amount, but it's a big amount for them. So, and they wouldn't want to spend it for no reason, right? So this is something that international students, especially Indian students or Pakistani students, face difficulties with.
तो ये तो यार ये तो बहुत मेजर प्रॉब्लम है. फिर तुम्हें क्या लगता है कितने टाइम में तुम्हें जॉब मिलने वाली है, या how many applications are you gonna make in order to crack that first interview or crack that first job?
I've sent over 30-40 applications right now. Okay. It's not too much because I had my own things going on.
Reverts आ रहे हैं?
No. Can you believe it? I did not even get a rejection mail.
Exactly.
I did not even get a rejection mail.
Right, so, right. Same feedback from that international student as well.
Really?
I don't remember his name, but I was talking to this one guy from US. 300 applications is a very high amount, guys. तुम्हारे भी 30-40 applications हो गए हैं and there is zero reward. तो okay. Yeah. This is one struggle, I guess, जो international students थोड़ा सा ignore कर देते हैं while they are planning to, you know, their study abroad journey. But this is the reality, and this is the harsh reality that जो आपको YouTube के numerous videos में and thumbnails में दिख जाएगी. So today in this whole conversation, me and Sanya, we are gonna debunk everything that is gonna that involves in your study abroad journey. What notion got broken in your mind once you landed in UK? कुछ ऐसा था जो इंडिया से तुमने ऑलरेडी सोच के गई थी कि नो यूके में तो ऐसा होगा या मेरी स्टडी अब्रॉड लाइफ ऐसी होगी, बट वहां जाके रियलिटी कंप्लीटली इट टर्न्ड. व्हाट हैपेंड? कुछ ऐसा केस, कोई ऐसी स्टोरी?
Honestly, no. मैं जब गई थी तो I am a kind of person who just focus on the next step. तो मैं फिगर आउट नहीं कर पाती कि भाई 1 साल बाद क्या पता मेरे को वहाँ जाके ये मिलेगा मुझे. तो it was very like raw. I went very raw. I was not expecting anything, but I got good experiences, good and bad both, and I learned from both. So I don't think any notion right now is coming into my mind.
Okay, so you went very raw, but now I want to ask you, कि you went very raw, but with how many home masalas did you go once you started your raw journey of studying abroad?
I went with a lot of masalas, cooker. You don't get a cooker there very easily because they
क्या
don't
बात
use
कर रहे हो
that.
यार, यूके में कुकर तो हो गए ना, प्रेशर कुकर तो
But not very easily क्योंकि वो they only use pans and stuff. You may get it, but only at Indian stores or special Asian stores. तो हर जगह नहीं मिलता.
तो तुम अपने लगेज में कुकर, कढ़ाई ये सब पैक करके लेके गए?
Everything.
Okay. So you are still, when are you going back now to UK?
I'm going back tomorrow. I came for Diwali and now I'm going
now
back.
This time, what are the things that you are packing for yourself? And अभी वहाँ पे weather कैसा होगा उस हिसाब से हमें बताओ.
अभी वहाँ बहुत ठंड है. अभी वहाँ पे like around 1 to 2 degree चल रहा है दिन में and रात को कुछ -1 -2 चलता है.
Okay.
So it's very cold. So I'm taking dry fruits, a lot of dry fruits. I'm taking masalas because although you get a lot of Indian masalas there, but वो घर के मसालों की अलग होती है ना. And I mean I'm taking the things that I particularly like and I don't get easily there. I like kurkure and kurkure is very expensive there.
Yeah.
I like poha very much.
Cheetos is very expensive in India. Kurkure वहाँ पे expensive है.
Yeah, मैं Cheetos खाती हूँ क्या?
I
don't know.
ठीक है.
Yeah.
So interesting. So now your plan is to look for a job. Okay, now talking about the faculty that you had and your university. How helpful your faculty is and how helpful your university is when it comes to finding a job. वो career fairs के अलावा और क्या-क्या चीजें हो रही हैं जिससे तुम्हारी help हुई in looking out for a job?
I think my faculty was really nice. They were very responsive. Like if I send them a mail now, and I know that वो जब भी देखेंगे they'll reply as soon as they can. Because even my supervisor for my dissertation, she was really great. Because I knew people जिनके supervisors reply नहीं कर रहे थे, एक हफ्ते तक respond ही नहीं कर रहे थे. But mine, she was replying within a day or as soon as she had the time. So they were very responsive, they were very interactive. And तो ये चीज़ बहुत अच्छी थी कि communication में इतनी problem नहीं होती थी. And apart from that,
career fairs help करता है? Just be honest.
Did not help me, but I did not even attend many career fairs to be honest.
Okay.
But you should attend career fairs. Take your CV there. Don't just go empty-handed. If you go and give your CV right there, that might have a different impression than someone who is just coming to take a pamphlet, you know. So be prepared when you go to such places. Always be ready with your CV क्योंकि you don't know कब किसको क्या ज़रूरत हो and कब क्या पसंद आ जाए. So it's very helpful if you have something in your hand rather than just a copy. क्योंकि जब मैं गई थी मेरा इनिशियली बहुत प्रॉब्लम आया था for my unconditional offer letter. And they were taking days to reply to me. They were taking 10 days to reply to me. तो एक चीज़ मांगते थे, फिर 10 दिन बाद दोबारा कुछ मांगते थे. That was a very long process. So at the end, I was so frustrated. I had to call straight away there. And ये चीज़ मैंने mention नहीं की because communication barrier बहुत रहता है वहाँ पे जाते. Because even though our English is good, we've studied it from our childhood. The accent is very different. So it's difficult to understand that, particularly on phone call. So I used to be very, hesitant or very shy when I used to call them. But I had no other option. My brother was like, cut the crap and let's just call them directly. And it is really helpful. Like अगर आप उन्हें mail भेजोगे तो बहुत time में respond करेंगे. But they had particular hours when you can call them. So call directly. I know although international calls है, but बहुत सारा तुम्हारा time save हो जाएगा. Call them directly. They also prioritize your query if you call them.
Right.
Because they have a lot of queries. If you call them, they prioritize yours. तुम्हारा काम जल्दी भी हो सकता है. So be, don't wait for mails.
Okay.
Make things happen. Call them, talk to them. क्योंकि वो लोग वहाँ होते हैं. But if you call them, वो तभी देख लेंगे. If you send them mails.
I think this is the behavior with all of us. हमें अगर कोई task मिल रहा है, let's say, तो people who are in front of us or people who are are connected to us, हम उनका काम prioritize कर लेते हैं.
Yes.
That is the general behavior of humans. And of course, the accent thing that you told, मैं आज भी अगर कोई इंग्लिश मूवी चल रही है तो सबटाइटल्स रहते हैं. The attention is distracted, कभी स्क्रीन पे कभी सबटाइटल्स पे, but okay.
But with time you will understand. Like it took me like maybe a month at most. उसमें I could understand all my lectures and everything.
Interestingly enough, you don't have an accent after 1 year.
Yeah, I did not develop an accent.
I'm sure you must have had friends जिनका काफी अच्छा accent हो गया होगा. That Indian, some foreign accent जो होता है, typical foreign accent. Okay, interesting. So
I
now,
think होता है, and initially जब you try to get an accent वो बहुत ऐसे funny लगता है, लोग हंसते हैं. But I felt our accent is so good. Like each and every word is so clear.
Exactly.
Why would I even want to change it? Because उनका accent is उनके हिसाब से, but it's not very clear.
Right.
It's more in the air, and हम जो भी बोलते हैं एक एक शब्द आपको सुनाई देगा क्या बोल रहे हैं. So I didn't want to change it.
Like I don't understand how can someone say कि please pass me that ball of whatever that is.
Yeah.
Water.
It's water.
Please pass me that. Exactly. Okay. Now talking about your living experience, your accommodation का experience. क्या सिनेरियो है? Initially, let's say मैं अगर जा रहा हूँ UK and I have to look for accommodations, what are the appropriate ways that I should go about?
So when you apply for the university, तो university website पे वो सब कुछ होता है. Like Sussex के पे there was everything including on campus as well as off campus accommodation. So the university also had affiliated off campus accommodations also. कि आपको on campus नहीं रहना तो बाहर भी रह सकते हो. And although you feel that they would be a little cheaper लगता है जो off campus होता है, because you would find them cheaper initially, but if you have to commute and you really struggle with coming to the university, it's more or less बहुत ज़्यादा difference नहीं बैठता. Plus when you live in the campus, you live a completely different life than when you live outside. Because you're constantly in that environment, constantly events are happening there. तुम कभी भी उठ के जा सकते हो, कभी भी involve हो सकते हो. I had friends जो बस आते थे, classes लेते थे and जाते थे. And that was it. That was their college life. Meanwhile, I had a lot to discover and explore within the university.
Right.
The campus areas, the people, the friends, the faculty. तो बहुत better experience रहता है अगर आप अंदर रहते हो university के तो.
Now I want to ask, because this is also a very common thing for students who are going abroad. Of course, at our age, everybody wants to meet new people. People also want to date. How is dating for an Indian student back in UK, back in a foreign country? Is it difficult? Is it easy? Or what's the case scenario? I'm sure बहुत सारे लड़के होंगे इस वक्त जो देख रहे होंगे जिनके expectation होगा अरे हम बाहर जाएंगे and we'll be very active in dating. What's the reality in that?
I think people there are really friendly.
Okay.
Like even girls, if you meet, like I'm talking about boys, so if you meet girls there, so they won't be very judgy. अगर आपको ऐसा लगे कि यार एकदम से judge करे because you don't have an accent, you're from a different country. They're very interested to know about you, your culture. So I find people helpful and very friendly there. And वहाँ पे वही dating websites जो यहाँ पे भी हैं वो भी सब हैं. You can meet people. But even within the university आप बहुत explore कर सकते हो, बात भी कर सकते हो क्योंकि वहाँ events बहुत होते हैं and university के अंदर ही cafes है, सब है, karaoke हो रहा है, तो बहुत ज़्यादा आपको chances और opportunities होती हैं जिसमें आप मिल सकते हो, लोगों से बातें कर सकते हो.
Did you or your friends around you, मतलब तुम लोगों का कुछ, were you able to build a strong relationship or did anybody of your friends who were able to do that? Yes, everything was for a short-term thing.
So you're asking about the friendship as well, right?
Yeah, of course.
So like you will meet a lot of people, you will make a lot of friends, but उनमें से कुछ ही होंगे जो like the people you will take from there. Right. I had a lot of people, I have met a lot of people, I had a lot of friends, but उनमें से I can count on only 2-3 people कि they might help me. उनके लिए भी might I'm using because वहाँ पे सबको अपने अपने काम है. Nobody have the time to like like shut off their work and then come to help you, rescue you. So
Hmm.
you have to be very, apne mein you have to be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can take 2 to 3 relationships. I think you should build it everywhere जहाँ पे तुम्हें हो कि भाई मैं इस पे rely थोड़ा सा तो कर सकता हूँ.
But if you're trying too hard to be self
Efficient.
sustaining and
Yeah.
self independent, loneliness का factor नहीं आता है?
लोनलीनेस तो होता ही है. आई मीन इवन गोइंग अवे फ्रॉम फैमिली से ही थोड़ा सा वो लोनलीनेस फैक्टर आता है. एंड लाइक व्हाइल आई वाज, ये भी अच्छा पॉइंट था बिकॉज व्हेन मैं यूनिवर्सिटी में थी तो मुझे इतना अलग फील नहीं होता था क्योंकि मेरे साथ और स्टूडेंट्स थे. एंड तो उसमें आई डिड नॉट फील दैट अलोन. But after my course, I had to shift, so I had to find a place. That was a whole another struggle of finding another accommodation.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you're still in that struggle only.
Yes, I'm
तुम
still
अभी भी
struggling
accommodation
on that.
ढूंढ ही रही है.
Yeah, तो उस टाइम पे I felt really lonely जब मैंने यूनिवर्सिटी छोड़ी because everyone went to different places. Some went to London, some came here. इधर उधर सब scatter हो गए. तो तब उसके बाद मुझे बहुत लोनलीनेस फील हुई. लाइक इवन दो यू आर डूइंग योर जॉब, तो उसके बाद शाम को इवन इफ आपके घर में कुछ लोग हैं बट एक साल का वो कनेक्शन बिल्ड हुआ वो विद इन अ फ्यू डेज नहीं हो सकता. तो आई थिंक लिविंग ऑफ कैंपस वाज पर्टिकुलरली मोर लोनली फॉर मी देन लिविंग विद इन द कैंपस.
Of course. So now, okay, because we are talking about relationships and dating, do you have any funny story of maybe any guy coming up and saying hi to you? या कुछ ऐसा funny story है कि somebody tried to approach you and that was weird, or you saw some Indian student trying to approach in a very bad manner or something like that?
That I've definitely seen.
Indians are bad with approaching with two girls.
Sometimes I don't know why people there have this notion that by Indian boys से थोड़ा सा दूर रहना, because I don't know that they are a little judgy and you feel that वो थोड़ी mentality difference तो obviously है. But particularly for me, I don't think ऐसा कोई peculiar सा experience था. I don't know why I'm very friendly, but I look unapproachable. एक बार अगर आप if I'm sitting somewhere, they won't find me very approachable. I don't know why.
Guys, comment section में बताओ if Sanya has a good poker face or not. Let's try and acknowledge her thoughts.
So I tried, like मेरे को कुछ था भी नहीं कि मुझे ऐसे relationship वगैरह में कुछ बहुत explore करना है. तो my friends only built my Bumble profile and Insta. When I did see people, I did talk to them.
ये सबके friends ही क्यों उनकी Bumble profile build कर रहे होते हैं? I don't.
Friends have the chill to do that.
Okay.
So Brighton is the pride capital of UK. So
Okay.
वहाँ पे तो experiences आपको सिर्फ वैसे नहीं लिखेंगे जो हमें लगता है.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other experiences as well.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a very open city. So there one peculiar experience, particularly not pertaining to dating and relationship, was that there was a nude cycling thing there.
Okay.
Like everybody was completely nude.
Okay.
Like, a particular group of people and they were cycling throughout the city.
Okay.
तो ब्राइटन में ऐसा कुछ ना कुछ होता रहता है जिससे क्या आपको लगता है ये क्या हो रहा है.
Right. I'm sure this would have been for some cause, some
yeah, it's
cause
a cultural shift. Totally cultural difference.
Of course. So now, do you have plans to shift to some other place? London वगैरह shift होना है for jobs या क्या scenario?
I'm finding a job, तो मुझे like I will find an accommodation according to the job. कि if I find one in London, I will have to move to London. But I'm staying in Brighton right now, and since I don't have a job अभी, so I will go back to Brighton only, and I plan to stay there for at least 2-3 months जब तक I don't get a job.
अच्छा, okay. इंडिया में देखो हमारे पास दिल्ली, मुंबई, बैंगलोर ऐसे सिटीज हैं जिनको हम मेट्रो सिटीज बोलते हैं जहाँ पे हमें पता है कि यहाँ पे जॉब्स हैं. What's the situation in UK? UK में ऐसे कौन सी places हैं? Of course, London is there. Of course,
London,
Manchester is there.
Birmingham. All the big university cities would be called, particularly. But वहाँ metro, I guess, tube सिर्फ London में है. All the other places, they just have bus to communicate.
Have you been to London?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Have you traveled in that London tube?
Yes, it's very suffocating. Our metro is Delhi metro is so much better than London tube.
Okay. Do you also see Delhi metro में तो बहुत लोग reels भी बना लेते हैं, fights भी हो जाती हैं. London tube का भी same हाल है?
नहीं, वहाँ पे people are just so consumed. वो सिर्फ उनकी लाइफ उनके न्यूज़पेपर या उनके हेडफोन्स तक ही रहती है. they don't care about who's sitting here or there.
Okay. What are you expecting if let's say you join any company over there? how is the culture that you're expecting? What will you be comfortable with? And what is your plan for the future? Are you gonna come back, or are you gonna stay there only?
For now, I don't plan to come back. I don't plan to settle there as well. So I will see. Like, I plan to stay there for at least 2 years to work and then see where I go on to. But yeah, I don't plan to settle here or there anywhere right now.
Okay.
And in terms of work culture, I would really like a supportive work culture, like who would understand that it's not just about getting the job done. It's more about, you know, giving that time and that space to that person to make mistakes, to learn from those mistakes, and then to, you know, grow along with, like, growing with the company, kind of thing. You know. So because if you don't have experience, you don't know what you're stepping into. So I don't want to have that pressure and feel that no, the corporate world is not that nice. I want good people to be around me. I think everything becomes easier if you have people you can share your challenges with.
Okay. What all things you did not like about studying in the UK? क्या और better हो सकता था, या तुम्हें नहीं पसंद आया? क्या ऐसे कॉन्स थे जो तुम्हें पहले से पता ही नहीं था, बट अब तुम्हें आके पता लगा?
So the first of all being the university, the job scenario, that, you know, I did not know that visa sponsorship में इतनी problem आती है, because that was something that wasn't communicated to me or to anybody for that matter, I think. And so that's a really, you know, shock that when you start applying, the first question they ask you is, do we need to sponsor you? And they reject you right away. It's like, I'm gonna pay, and that's when you pay for the PSW, you pay extra 2 lakhs to them for the 2 years, and even after that they're not willing to spend a little for your sponsorship. So and it's like within 2 years many people, you know, leave jobs, take new jobs, but they say that we need to, you know, retain employees. So that doesn't fit, that, you know, people are gonna leave anyways, and you are thinking that someone will stay for 4 years like straight away. So that is something that wasn't, you know, rightfully communicated. Other than that, the other con would be food, particularly for vegetarians. So I'm a vegetarian, and I've seen people who go vegetarian from here and they turn non-vegetarian there, which is for a reason, because there are far less options for vegetarians.
How did you
there.
manage not turning yourself into a non-vegetarian?
I learned how to cook. I used to call my mother every day and ask her how to cook this,
what
how
were
to cook that.
What were the most repeated meals that you guys were cooking for yourselves?
I think it's very difficult for people to cook rotis there, and I come from a household जहाँ पे रोज रोटी बनती है, and वहाँ पे lot of students just survive on rice, because वो rice आप बना के रख सकते हैं, you can use it over and over. So you just cook, and you know, people from different cultures, like for example, I lived with one Colombian and a Mexican. They used to cook for a whole week. तो वो संडे को पूरे हफ्ते का प्रिपेयर करके रख देते थे.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they used to make their noodles, spaghetti, and like a lot of things, not just one. They had like 3-4 boxes, and they would just cook for the whole week.
And बस सब कुछ गरम करके
खाते रहते थे. And me and the other Indian friend, like, हमारा तो मन ही नहीं समझ आता है, आज ये मन है कल कुछ और मन होगा. We cannot, you know, eat वही जो बना रखा है.
We Indians are very fickle-minded.
और खाना हमारा ऐसा कि खाने पे ही फंक्शन कर रहे हैं हम.
हर मील हमारा डिफरेंट है, हमारा तो दिन के तो कभी सेम हो ही नहीं सकता.
So me and my housemate, we used to spend a lot on food. Once we went to like a food store, and we had 3-4 baggages. Like the one who was doing the billing, like this, a lot of fruits and vegetables. इसमें और कुछ भी नहीं था. There was nothing else, just fruits, vegetables. क्योंकि हम दोनों को खाने का बहुत शौक था. तो like it was really helpful, क्योंकि हम दोनों साथ में मिलके कई बार बना लेते थे. But also we had that thing कि जब time नहीं है, we used to do our own thing. So that is also that you should not depend too much on others. कि भाई नहीं, अगर साथ बनाना है तो साथ ही बनाना है. And there are people who just don't cook for themselves. अगर उनके लिए कोई कुछ कर रहा है, they take advantage of that and they won't do anything. So I've seen my friends who were really struggling because उनके housemates कुछ contribute ही नहीं करते थे. They were just too lazy to do anything, and सामने वाला ही सब कुछ कर रहा है.
Living with the wrong flatmates costs a lot.
That's a con. Yes. Living with people you don't get along with.
Okay. Now, let's say if ऐसे बहुत दिन होंगे जब तुम्हें कुक करने का मन नहीं कर रहा होगा, या तुम कुक कर नहीं पाई. What are the most economic options for an international students कि बाहर से कुछ मंगा लो या फिर बाहर जाके खा लो? Do you want to name some places, or do you want to tell us what those are.
You know, initially like for 7-8 months I did not ever order from outside क्योंकि मुझे वो
Okay.
और first of all इसलिए भी क्योंकि मैंने खुद बाहर काम किया and I saw how things are done and I was like नहीं मैं नहीं खा सकती. Even after working at Domino's I realized कि भाई नहीं कुछ vegetarian नहीं है. It's all mixed. So तो इसलिए मेरे लिए पर्टिकुलरली और वो रहता था क्योंकि तुम्हें पता है अगर बाहर कैसे बन रहा है तो तुम नहीं खाओगे. तो मैं बाहर का नहीं खाती थी, मैं घर का ही. एंड माय गो टू फूड वुड बी मैगी और रामेन और नूडल्स और पिज्जा. यू कैन जस्ट गेट यू नो रेडीमेड पिज्जा एंड यू कैन हीट इट अप इन योर ओवन. तो वो बहुत कन्वीनियंट रहता है कि आप कभी भी खा सकते हो.
ठीक है, ऑल राइट. बट आई स्टिल थिंक people should not survive on just fast food.
Yes,
And
definitely.
of course that will also shoot up your budget. And now talking about the budget, studying abroad is expensive. तुम्हारा एक साल में how you burn 40 lakhs, right? 36-40 lakhs even after getting 2 scholarships. Can you tell us something about the scholarships? पैसे बचाए कैसे? What were the two scholarships that you got? And what was their deal?
So UK offers two kinds of scholarships basically there. So one is government funded and the other one is university funded.
Achha.
So the government scholarships, they have their whole process and they are not related to the university in any manner. So for example there's one called Shivani. तो उसका कुछ पर्टिकुलर होता है लाइक 100% स्कॉलरशिप भी होती है ना. आई गेस कुछ कम की भी स्कॉलरशिप उसमें होती है बट उसके लिए यू हैव टू अप्लाई वेरी अर्ली. यू कैन नॉट अप्लाई जस्ट बिफोर यू आर गोइंग दैट. So you have to apply, I guess, 1 year ahead of that. And you have to send out your application. और उसमें पूरा वो process होता है जैसे you know Harvard का application process. तो बहुत पूरा आपको देखते हैं. वो देखते हैं कि like why do we even give you that scholarship? कि तुम्हें ज़रूरत क्या है?
Did you apply for this scholarship?
I did not apply for the Shivning one because मेरा time निकल चुका था Shivning का.
अच्छा.
But I applied for the university ones. And एक मेरे offer letter पे आई थी मुझे business school से. It was based on my merit.
अच्छा,
so मुझे business school की तरफ से मिली थी and the other one was for the Indian students. So
अच्छा.
all the Indian students could apply for that scholarship.
अच्छा.
So yeah, I got 2 scholarships worth 3,000. So it was
अच्छा.
6,000 pounds. Yeah.
6,000 pounds. Correct. That's good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Let's say if other than Shiving scholarship, what other options do we have for any Indian student or consultancy scholarships? Do you know about something?
I'm not really sure about the government ones and university ki bhi is highly dependent on the university. For example, my friend went to Edinburgh and she was studying at the University of Edinburgh, the same course psychology, but she did not get any scholarship because they did not even have any scholarship for psychology students or Indian students for that matter. तो वो बहुत ज़्यादा यूनिवर्सिटी पे डिपेंड करता है. So she had to pay the whole amount for the course and I had to pay like it was initially 22,000 and I paid 16,000 for my tuition fees. तो यूनिवर्सिटी पे वेरी करता है कि उनकी क्या scholarships है and based on the eligibility criteria you can apply.
Okay. Now pivoting towards the internet and what is out there for an international student to look at on the internet. If you go on YouTube and you put in the keywords study in UK or challenges while studying in the UK for an international student, you'll see videos like there are no jobs in UK, don't come to UK, harsh reality of UK. इन सब videos का context क्या है? How true are these videos? I'm sure तुमने भी देखा होगा. How true are these videos? क्या सही में UK में जॉब नहीं है? Should international student now think 100 times before coming to UK? या फिर what's the ground reality?
I think again वो बहुत ज़्यादा तुम्हारे experiences पे depend करता है and it also depends on your facilities. Like some people have family there, some people have connections there, some people don't have anything. So it would be difficult for people like me जिनका कुछ कोई बैकग्राउंड नहीं है वहाँ पे, you know, because I have friends जिनके parents हैं या जिनकी families वहाँ रह रही है, cousins हैं, relatives हैं. They can be helpful because they've built that network over the years and you can utilize their resources for you. तो उनके लिए शायद एक upper hand हो. But I won't say है ही नहीं jobs. I would say it's a little difficult to find them, particularly in these times since recession is going on. But it really depends on your caliber, how much you're trying, how much experience you have. Experience is something that is really valued there. So they just don't look at your degree. They need experience. If you have experience in a particular field, the chances of you getting that job would be higher.
Acha.
Yeah, than someone who doesn't have the experience.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Do you have enough experience in your academic profile for the job part?
Not really, because while I was doing my undergrad, COVID happened. So for 2 years, I could not do anything physically. I could only take the online internships which were going around in India at that time, which were not particularly that helpful. They were just lecturing and giving you a certificate, and they had no value. So I could not do internships there, and then I completed my undergrad and went straight away for my masters. So I did not even have that time to do an internship or gain work experience, because I went straight away for my studies. But I would really suggest that if you do have time, do get some experience and then go out, because that will count, and you will have more experience, as well as you will know how to tackle things there. Yeah.
Okay, so when you say have some experience, put it in years. कितना 1 साल का experience सही है, 2-3 साल का experience
It doesn't depend on time, I would say. It depends on आपने 6 महीने की internship में क्या क्या किया है. It doesn't depend, हो सकता है 2 साल में आपने एक ही चीज करी है, that won't count. But maybe in 6 months you've done a lot of things. You've done social media, you've done content creating, बहुत कुछ किया है. So that will matter more than someone who's just done one thing in over the years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think we have mostly covered a lot of things today in this whole conversation. Right. Let's do one thing now. Let's play a small rapid fire with you. My first question would be, is University of Sussex a good university or an average university?
A good one.
Okay. What is your most favorite thing about your university?
The campus. It's really beautiful.
Okay. What is your favorite spot in the campus to hang out?
I would say farmer house.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the easiest part-time job that an international student can find? Easiest?
Like easiest I did was being an NSS agent. So there's this national survey, and all the third year undergrads there, final year undergrads there have to fill out that survey. So as NSS agents, our job was to have that stall and just encourage participation from them. It was just sitting there, telling people fill out the NSS, giving them the gifts and vouchers. So yeah, it was particularly interesting, and plus it was just sitting, not doing much.
Okay, all right. What is the most high-paying part-time job?
High-paid part-time job. It would be, it depends on your age first of all. So if you are over 25 or over 30, your pay would be higher than someone who is younger.
Okay.
And secondly, I think physical jobs, like for example construction and jobs which really require physical hard work.
Okay.
They pay particularly higher than other jobs.
Okay, all right. Okay. Are there enough jobs for all the Indian students that are right now thinking about coming to the UK?
No, I don't think so. I think the number of students that go from here or from anywhere in the world are far more than the jobs that are available in the UK. So that is why a lot of students come back as well.
Okay, so majority of the students that were around you, did they come back to India, or they're still gonna struggle for looking out for a job?
Few came back, not a lot. Few came back, and the others are still struggling finding a job. And it's also about time. You may not get a job now, but you may get it after some months, after a few months, after a year. It's okay. The 2 years are for you to explore and see the possibility of getting a job, not just getting the job. So I think that time is very crucial for you to grow as a person, and not just see that am I getting job or not. You can do a lot even if you are not particularly in your field job. You can explore a lot. You can use your social medias very much to grow as a person. So yeah.
Okay, tell me the easiest way of how you can make friends or network.
Join societies. When you join a society, there are a lot of societies there. Particular communities have societies. For example, South Asians have society, like had in Sussex. There's Uzbekistan society was there. So a lot of countries themselves, the community make a society of themselves. But other than that, also there are a lot of other societies like sports. You can go in sports. You can do music or extracurriculars are really rewarded there. There was one thing called Spirit of Sussex Award, and I earned a gold award in that one.
Okay.
So there was bronze, silver and gold. And initially I discussed with my friends that we would at least get a bronze. कुछ तो करेंगे कि bronze मिल जाए. But I got a gold. और वो सिर्फ इसमें था कि आप किसी भी इवेंट में पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हो, कोई भी जॉब यूनिवर्सिटी में कर रहे हो, तो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ क्राइटेरियाज उसमें.
अच्छा.
और उसमें आप फिल आउट करो अपने एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर्स एंड दे गिव यू एन अवार्ड. So that is a way to encourage students to not just participate in their studies but also like look for the extracurriculars. So yeah, join societies and go for the events. Don't just sit in your room thinking कि यार क्या ही मिलेगा. Go there, talk to people, eat, because they give you a lot of free food with the university. Yes. It's very student friendly. The university cultures, they are very student friendly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How safe is it for international students? How safe is UK for international students?
It really depends on the region. Brighton would be very safer option. I mean, I felt it way more safer than the other places I went to, including London. London is also not very safe, at night because there's a lot of snatching and everything. So Brighton was particularly safe, and from what I've heard, it's very controversial, but from what I've heard, Manchester and Birmingham are not very safe. I mean, there are particular regions that are not very safe.
Okay.
So whenever you are you should check the place you're going to, how much, what's the crime rate, what are the specific places you should not go alone to. So yeah, it depends on the place.
Okay. Now, my last question. If you had to change anything about your study abroad journey, what would that be?
One thing I had to change. I would not change anything. It was so great, my experience. I do not regret one thing.
Perfect answer. Perfect. I think this is the most appropriate ending that we could find to this conversation. She does not regret her study abroad journey. And I'm sure, we are sure that you will be not regretting it as well. People who are thinking about studying abroad, think twice, think hard, do your research hard, and if you have any queries, you can talk to Sanya. You can talk to us as well. Comments में भी अपने questions and queries लिख सकते हो. And thank you for this conversation. Thank you for this interview. And I hope all the best. I wish you all the best. I hope you find a good accommodation very soon. I hope you find a job as well. And yes, all the very best.
Thank you for having me over. It was a great conversation, and all the best to you guys.
Cool guys. Okay, I'll be seeing you in the next video now. Till then, this is me, Swapnil, signing off. Bye bye.